Yeah, man. I'll tell you, man, I'd like this here, man. Niggas be bugging all day long. Isaiah, what we're 40 and 13. He said, "Who have directed the Ruach of Yahuwah, or being his counselor, have taught him? Who have took him he counsel, with whom he took he counsel, and who instructed him and taught him in the path of judgment, and taught him in knowledge, and showed to him the way of understanding. Behold, the nations are a drop of a bucket, and are counted as small dust of the balance. Behold, he take up the isles as a very little thing. And Lebanon is not sufficient to burn, nor the beast thereof sufficient for a burnt offering. All nations are before him are as nothing, and they are counted to him less than nothing and vanity. To whom then will you liken Elohim, or what likeness will you compare unto him?" He say, to whom will you liken Elohim? This is the same question that we see in Psalms 113. Let's look at it again. Let's look at that question again. And then we'll go to Isaiah 46. To whom will you liken? But that's Psalms 113 and verse 5 says, "Who is like unto Yahuwah Elohim, who dwell on high, who humble himself to behold the things that are in Shamahim and in their rest." Then, of course, he made mention that he raised up to pour out the dust and lift the needy out of the dunghill, that he may set him with princes, even the princes of his people, and make the barren woman to keep house and to be a joyful mother of children. Hallelujah. And that's kind of going over what's in Samuel. So we know who it is that humbled himself to behold these things, but we got to deal with being like Elohim. Who can we liken unto him? Who can compare unto him? Let's go to Isaiah 4, chapter 46. And then in dealing with the comparison, what would be the penalty for coming for him who's made like unto him? And if he's made like unto him, then he would be just like him. And if he's just like him, then he's equal unto him. And if he's equal unto him, everyone that is born of him is equal unto him. And if everyone is born of him is equal unto him, what shall be the penalty for those who seek to injure those who belong to him? That penalty should be grievous if we believe what this text say. But again, like I read to you already, we keep Deuteronomy 32 in mind. Vengeance is of Yahuwah, their foot will slide. So there's a difference between vengeance and there's a self-defense. See, we're going to read something self-defense because he didn't hit my mind earlier. Because see, a nigga tried to pull what they tried to do to Nehemiah and think that we would commit a sin because of that. That's why I'm speaking on it right now. Just like I say, for the sake of, we ain't trying to get nobody to go to jail. He ain't called no name, but a whole nigga ain't nobody scared. Please know and understand that. And I said it, and just know it was me that said it when a nigga run back and tell you that. And I will tell you that to your face. I tell it to you over the phone. I send it in a telegram. I tell it in a telephone message. It doesn't really matter. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm highly offended because you threatened churn. You know what I'm saying? It's no different when we were dealing with Tony Smith. I was highly offended because you injured those who held you to a certain standard and esteem, and you hurt them with no regard for these people. Just your own vain, selfish ego and egomaniacal and egotistical machinations. Do you know what I'm saying? You deserve to be injured for that greatly. You know what I'm saying? And now we got a bastard, coward, whole nigga threatening churn. Do you know what I'm saying? How can anyone respect that? Churn? I never, like I said, never understood that. You know what I'm saying? Niggas want to, no. That's why nigga I know doing a long stretch bid now. That wasn't their intent, but that's how it went down. You know what I'm saying? You know, when you go on the road, niggas hurt people for doing things to children. Cause when you look at it here, right, we got all these small children running around here, man. They babies. They can't really do nothing. When niggas pull a move like that, you showing no regard for kids, no regard for women. You know what I'm saying? At that point, there's no respect. And then that's when self-defense gonna come into play, because them children gonna be protected. If you think we just gonna let somebody do something to the kids, niggas smoking crack. You know what I'm saying? Nevertheless, Isaiah 46 and verse 3. See, I'm strong enough to take the heat, so I say it. I say what other people won't say. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about dying. I've been ready to leave here. Then I can finally rest. Ain't getting no rest or bug ground. Ain't nothing but hypocrites who don't want to listen. Wicked people. Then I won't have to see all the evil that come. It's more profitable if I'm alive to serve his people. But then I won't have to see all the other things that I know are going to go down in the earth. I can just rest comfortably. I have no fear of death. I have no fear of jail. I fear nothing but Yah. So whatever nigga talking about means absolutely nothing to me. You should have tried a little better than to come with that. And at least if you had heart, you'd have did it yourself. Says, hearken unto me, O house of Jacob, and all the remnant of the house of Yasharal, which are born by me from the belly, which are carried from the womb, even to your old age I am he, even to the hoar hairs will I carry you. I have made and I will bear, even I will carry and will deliver you. You need to sit back and you need to remember that you're born by him from the belly. How are you born from him from the belly? Y'all know how he born from the belly. We ain't got to go through all that. You know that he bore you through the hole in his side. He bore you through his belly. You know you are born of him. And he will carry you, and he will guide you, and he will deliver you, and he will save you if you put your trust in him. Let's read this Revelation 14 and 13. Then we'll swing around to that Nehemiah to show you what a coward tried to pull. The same thing they try to do to Nehemiah. But our heart don't pump no Kool-Aid. You can't serve y'all in your heart pumping Kool-Aid. That ain't gonna work. 14 and 12, matter of fact. No son got to be wrong with you around here threatening people's life. Son definitely got to be wrong with you. It say, here's the patrons of the Kadeshim. Here are they that keep the commandments of Elohim and the faith of Yahushua. And I heard a voice from Shamahim saying unto me, Right, Baruch are the dead which die in the master from henceforth. Yea, saith the Ruach, that they may rest from their labors and their works do follow them. You know, your labor's not in vain in the master, man. So, you know, you got to be willing to know that your work's going to follow you and he going to carry you. He carried you in his womb because you were you were a member of his body before the book was even written. He'll carry you in his life and he'll carry you when you're gone. And he'll set you in the place where he delivered you, where he's going to plant you at. We talked about that in Psalm 69. The trust in his salvation. If you have faith in Yahushua, you will be delivered. But you may die though. And you have to understand that. You may die though. See, a nigga threatened me with death as if I care. You know what I'm saying? Don't threaten me with a good time. If you gonna kill a nigga, then just do it. Don't call me to tell me about it. You know what I'm saying? That's weak, dude. Don't call me with that. Do you know what I'm saying? Just do it. If you gonna do it, do it. All them threats, all that stuff, we don't care nothing about all that. Go keep doing what we doing. I'ma still call you, and that's why we calling you out for it now. That was wicked that you even son a nigga to do it. We know you son a nigga do it because the nigga you son to do it ain't got my phone number. So they had to get it from you. So you co-sign that wickedness and you weigh you in an unjust balance on that. That's unrighteous. That's an abomination. And if a nigga got a problem with it, screw how you feel. You can go to hell with him. If you riding with it, if you stamp that, you could go to hell with him. And he threatened kids, so if you stamping that, you could go to hell with him. And I'll tell any one of you niggas that to your face. It's nothing. This ain't for no video. You know my phone number. You know where I live, and you know I'm gonna be at tomorrow. You know I'm gonna be at end day. I come to your front door. I tell you that to your face. Y'all to go to hell. You stamp it. I'm just dead serious, bro. I don't care about niggas that nigga threaten churn, man. That's churn.
That down. Leave that right there. I have mine. Up here.
You know what I'm saying? I don't care nothing about that, man. I don't care. I told you, man. Y'all's my witness. If a nigga just would have kept it regulated to me, I wouldn't have nothing to say. Once you threaten to churn, though, it screw your life at that point. You know what I'm saying? Y'all look on you. Ain't nowhere in the world y'all with you. May he requite that work that you intended in your heart and render unto you what you sought to render unto somebody else. That's how I look at it. That's what the book say. I guess a nigga thought I wasn't going to speak on. I guess a nigga thought I was scared. I'm not scared. You know what I'm saying? I don't see it. Let me show you why. Nehemiah said they forget what stock of people we come from. David wasn't scared of none of them people. David know he could have knocked off and killed every last one of them. He said, but he knew the word, so he said, I'll let y'all deal with him. I know the word. I'm going to let y'all deal with you. But I'm just letting you know, ain't no fear over here, buddy. Let that be known. You do whatever you got to do. Nehemiah chapter 6. Make sure I'm in the right place. There we go. Nehemiah 6, man. Pick it up by verse 9. You know, the joy of Yahuwah is our strength, and we trust in Yah. So that's my strength. I don't see that. Just let that be known. We know you stabbed it. You just as evil as the nigga who pulled it because you co-signed him and you son him to do it. You ain't finna tell me Yah had you do that. Don't you lie on that, man. That was all you, nigga. For they all made us afraid, saying their hands shall be weakened from the work, that it be not done. Now therefore, Elohim, strengthen my hands. Afterwards I came unto the house of Shemaiah, the son of Deliah, the son of Methabiel, who was shut up, and he said, let us meet together in the house of Elohim within the temple, and let us shut the doors of the temple, for they will come to slay thee, yea, in the night they will come to slay thee. And I said, should such a man as I flee? And who is there that, being as I am, will go into the temple to save his life? I will not go in. And lo, I perceived that Elohim had not sent him, but that he pronounced this prophecy against me, for Tobiah and Sanballat had hired him. Therefore was he hired, that I should be afraid and do so and sin, that they may have a matter for an evil report, that they might reproach me. By Elohim, think thou upon Tobiah and Sanballat according to these their works, and on the prophetess Nodiah and the rest of the prophets that would put me in fear. That man just sat back and said, they said they gonna kill you, man. You better go in there. He said, nigga, I ain't going. Because I know y'all ain't got nothing to do with this. All you trying to do is have me scared that I might commit a sin, knowing that Yahuwah is not giving us the ruach of fear, but the ruach of power and a sound mind. Nigga, I don't see none of that. Go ahead and do it. You son, and better fact, make sure you man enough to do it yourself. Don't send a woman to do it. Don't send nobody else to do it. Let your nuts hang, let your nuts drop, and you do it yourself. If you a man, don't send nobody to do something you ain't gonna do yourself. That's the definition of a coward. If you ain't gonna do it yourself, don't send another nigga to do it. You come do it. That's what you do. You come do it. Don't send another nigga, because ain't no fear in our heart, man. We don't see that. Matter of fact, since I say that, Psalm 27:1. But just know, man, you're dead wrong for threatening them children, though. You're dead wrong for threatening them children, though. Let that be known. Just like he said, think upon Sanballat and Tobiah, you think upon that nigga and everybody else who down with him, who stamped that, who's aware of it. You think upon their works. Render them according to your righteous judgment as you see fit. Give him a just recompense. Psalm 27:1. Yahuwah is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? Yahuwah is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When the wicked, even my enemies and foes, came upon me to eat up my flesh, they stumbled and fell. Do what you do, nigga. Don't threaten me with a good time. Don't send me an invitation to a party that I might like to dance to. I could truly care less. Just don't do it. You know what I'm saying? I say, and you know why niggas feel like they can do that? Because that last situation with Tony Smith, see, we let that slide. But we let that slide for a reason. Because that nigga just was running his mouth. We were just going to ignore that nigga. Just let that slide. You know, it's one of the rare times I actually spoke about this openly in public. See, we let that slide because he's a whole nigga too. For injuring women. You know what I'm saying? There's a couple niggas on here know I wanted to kill that nigga. I sit and tell you, I wanted to kill him. We had to pray many days about that. Comfort our satiate our soul by the word. And this man spirit many days. Because I ain't talking about telling niggas to do it. I was going to go up there by myself. I wanted to kill that man for what he did to them two people. Those that know who I'm talking about, they know what two people I'm talking about. I wanted to hurt that nigga about that. Because that stuff ain't right. You know what I'm saying? One thing about it, man, you got a problem with somebody, you keep that between them. See, I know this nigga called my man. He called my man on one day. This nigga said, yeah, man, you know, me and him beefing. And my man told him the truth. He said, man, that nigga ain't thinking about you. See, that ain't no beef. But the stunt you pulled right there, we was in the street. See, that's how beef start, though. When you do stuff like that. That's how beef start. See, before you just was on some old foo-foo, some old Who knows what you was on? It wasn't nothing. Niggas wasn't studying that. You know what I mean? But you took it to the point where if niggas ain't had no word to keep them grounded, that's real beef. What you just pulled right there. That's how beef gets started. Pulling stunts like that, threatening niggas' children and niggas' wives. See, we men, so we don't care nothing about you threatening us. You know what I'm saying? So what? Once you go to threaten niggas' wives, niggas' children, that's a whole nother level. You asked for beef right there. You entertained beef right there. You created that. We know you who ain't had nothing to do with that. We know you who ain't put that in your heart to do that. You did that on your own volition. I bet you ain't tell your team you did that. Did you tell them niggas you did that? Did you tell them niggas who you sent to go do it? You ain't even had the heart to do it yourself. Did you do that? Did you tell a nigga that? Because you tell a nigga everything else. I bet you ain't tell a nigga that though. Let's get back on track. I didn't let that be known. I would not finna let that slide. I said, only reason we ain't put the nigga name on that, cause boy, we don't want nobody to go to jail. I don't want you to go to jail. I want you to stay right here out here on these streets. I ain't gonna send a nigga to jail. I'm still a street dude, man. I'm not gonna dry snitch on you for you to go to jail. I ain't gonna send you to jail. I'm not gonna send you to jail. You know what I'm talking about? But we just letting it be known. We don't respect you. Truly, I know Yahuwah can't respect you. Not pulling that. If he had any respect, you lost it on Monday. I bet you that. And a real man walking gonna respect you on that. Come on back over here to Job 32. I think it's Job 32 right here. Yeah, I said it. Y'all make sure you tell that nigga I said it. Tell that nigga my phone number's still the same. I said it, nigga.
What you said? What you talking about?
I don't know. You gotta tell me.
Let me stop.
Make sure Job 32 on me. It might be 34. Pull my other book out here, man. See, the whole point of the matter is who's like unto Yahuwah, and we got to make sure that we like unto him who's like unto Yahuwah, that we can be where we ought to be with him. But also at the same time, we got to deal with, he won't cast away a perfect man, and he won't help no evildoer, and truly, you will get to see his vengeance upon your enemies, just like he stated to Job. I'm just working towards something. See, he done woke me up now. I ain't as sleep as I was when I started, because I was kind of sleepy when I started. 34 and 10. Make it about 34 and 7. Ah, yeah, pray the Lamb. 34 and 1. Didn't make it 34 and 1. Pray the Lamb. Work it like that. And then we're going to swing it round to Psalms 1 along with it. I'm trying to work a lot of things in at one time. Bear with me. I might go a little long. He say, furthermore, Elihu answered and said, hear my words, O ye wise men, and give ear unto me, ye that have knowledge. For the ear try words as the mouth tastes meat. Let us choose to us judgment, and let us know among ourselves what is good. See, he say, let us. Now I'm going to show you why he says this. Come to Romans chapter 12. Hello? Hello? What's up? Hello?
Yeah, it's Stanley.
What's happening with you, man?
It's Stanley.
I hear you, bro. You all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
For sure. Romans 12, man. Shoot, yeah, I know you heard me, Usher. I meant every word of it, too.
Huh?
No, I'm talking to Salem. 12 and 2. Look at him. He got a shirt open. Boy, you trying to show people your chest here? Boy, you look like a 70s baby. What you got going on, boy? That shirt look kind of young on you, too, boy. Look at him. You got his loafers on. Did you get a chance to get that dead body off you, boy?
Hey, boy.
Now you done made me unclean.
Wow, you good? I'll make that.
Listen what he say, right? He say, be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of Elohim. Now notice he says that let us choose us judgment, and we need to know what ourselves is good. We talked about that Wednesday, that we know the commandment is just and good. And that a good tree can't bring forth evil fruit. A good tree can only bring forth good fruit. And then we looked at the things that the good tree brings, you know, in Galatians. You know what I mean? So when we look at what's good and we're looking at who humbled themselves to be like, who is like unto Yahuwah, and who humbled himself to see the things in Shamahim and the things in the Arats, we have to know what is good. What is good? But he that believe on Yahushua HaMashiach. See, matter of fact, since I said something, right? Let's see what's not good. Galatians chapter 5. Let's see what's not good. See, let's look at Galatians 5 and 19, right? Because we know the works of the flesh. See, they not good. See, that's nothing Nick pulled on Monday. See, that's of the flesh. Because ain't nobody to Ruach do nothing like that. Not that. He said, now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanliness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred. Because there's got to be hatred for a nigga to threaten my life. You got to hate me. You can't love me and threaten my life. Much less the life of small children. Variance and emulations and wrath, strife, sedations and heresies, envyings, murders, drunkenness, revilings, and such like, of which I tell you before, as I've also told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of Elohim. So if I sit back and look at it, that a nigga sent a nigga to threaten my physical existence, we would have to be able to ascertain that that's hatred and murder. And therefore you can't inherit the kingdom of Elohim with that word. Because we know you're something nigga to do it. We know it. Boy, you nigga walk like this here, right? And I'm just being honest with y'all. Come and disregard, because let you know, right? I got flesh just like everybody else. I just let it keep it under subjection of the word. I choose that which is good, which is long suffering and forgetting it. Cause I want to kill Tony Smith. I told you that. I want to kill this man. You know what I'm talking about? And I wanted to kill this man for no other reason, for hurting Nicole and hurting Chanel. I wanted to kill this man for that. Because he did it on purpose. He went out his way to do it. He did it intentionally. And I had to hear and see the hurt that he did to them. And that brought a rage in me why I wanted to kill that man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just mentioning it publicly now because now you done gave me leave. I could speak on that. I couldn't say those things at that time. You know what I'm saying? So a couple people, they knew that's how I felt. That's how I felt. I'm a human being. You can't hurt people I love and think I'm going to just be like, oh, it's not a big deal, you know. I love you, brother. I love you. I want to kill you, though. I ain't want to kill you without cause. You know what I'm saying? But that's just being 100. Yeah, I wanted to hurt that nigga badly. You know what I'm saying? But because I know the word, bring those thoughts into captivity, you know, let y'all deal with them. Because I can't do that. I would like to, but I can't do that. But I ain't threatening that man. I ain't sending nothing out there to threaten that man. Tell nobody I'm going to kill you, nigga. If you fool with me, I'm going to do this and do that. Nigga just pulled that on me. And my man. And threaten him and his children. I ain't on that. Not on that. That's very wicked. See, I don't think... I hope a nigga didn't think I just was going to sweep that under the rug and I wasn't going to mention it. Yeah, I'm going to mention it, nigga. Yeah, I'm going to mention it. Nevertheless, Job 34. He says, shall I lie against my right? My wound is incurable without transgression. What man is like Job, who drink up scorning like water, which go in company with the workers of iniquity and walk with wicked men? For he said, it profit a man nothing that he should delight with Elohim. Therefore hearken unto me, ye men of understanding. Far be it from Elohim that he should do wickedness, and from the Almighty that he should commit iniquity. For the work of man shall render unto him, and cause every man to find according to his ways. Yea, surely Elohim would not do wickedly, neither will the Almighty pervert judgment. Now this just entered into my head, right? Deuteronomy 19. Because he said he will render according to a man's way. Pray the Lamb for the law, for the word, for the truth. Now I'm like this here. I'm gonna work it. Whatever I don't get, y'all with it. I'm gonna hit it on tomorrow. I may mention this again on tomorrow because I don't care. I don't really care. You know what I'm saying? I say, man, like with Smith, I ain't really say because nigga was coming for me. I ain't care. But he was hurting, like I say, he was hurting two people I care about. So that pissed me off. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't just want to go, like they said, I wanted to injure this man greatly, make him suffer. Because that's what you deserve because you made these people suffer. So it was only right that you should get back what you rendered under somebody else. And that's what we finna read in the law and see where, and then we're going to look at Matthew 5 and see why you're not supposed to do that. Because Yahuwah going to do that. So he ain't got to do that. He going to do it. See, I trust and believe in that. Because see, I'm going to tell you like this here. If a nigga kill me, so I'm going to feel like how Jeremiah feel. You could kill me, but surely know you had innocent blood on your hands. You know what the law say about that. That man going to look upon innocent blood and requite it at your hand. That what happened to Joab when he killed Abner. That was innocent blood. Joab had to die. If you ain't know the story, go check 2 Samuel about it. Joab had to die behind that. That was innocent blood when he spilled Abner blood. He spilled Abner blood because Abner had killed his brother. So therefore, 19 and 15, see, so he wanted to go ahead and kill Abner. And then David had Joab knocked off before he died, told Solomon, you handle that. Because he got to pay for that blood. He said the blood of a man who was more righteous than his. Matter of fact, I think I pulled that out because I mentioned it. But I want you to know, nigga kill me? Please no. He got righteous innocent blood on his hands. May Yahuwah look upon it and requite it. Do you know what I'm saying? Cause I don't see that jump, man. You got to come with somebody else to scare. Death don't scare me. Hell scare me. Death don't scare me. I ain't even say hell. The lake of Hinnom, the lake of Hinnom, the lake of fire where the worm dieth not and the fire shall not be quenched. That scared me. Oh, whole nigga, that don't scare me. Do you know what I'm saying? Deuteronomy 19 and 15. One witness shall not rise up against a man for any iniquity or for any sin, if any sin that he sinned. At the mouth of 2 witnesses or at the mouth of 3 witnesses shall a matter be established. If a false witness rise up against any man to testify against him that which is wrong, then both the men between whom the controversy is shall stand before Yahuwah, before the priests and the judges, which shall be in those days. And the judges shall make diligent inquisition, and behold, if the witness be a false witness, and have testified falsely against his brother, then shall you do unto him as he thought to have done unto his brother, so that thou shalt put the evil away from among you. And those which remain shall hear and fear, and shall henceforth commit no more any such evil among you. And thy eye shall not pity, but life shall go for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot. So the purpose of what you sitting back looking at, right, is he says that he will render unto a man and cause every man according to his ways. So he say whatever that man thought to have done to the man who lied on him, this same thing ought to be done to you. So let's look at that in 2 Samuel chapter 3. I tell you, man, there's a lot of people, man, over the last 8 years, it's a lot. I mean, we was on the phone with a dude talking, he said, yeah, boy, I heard about you, boy, they say you're crazy. They say you bewitched, you got this here. I say, dang, cuz, I don't even know you. I ain't never talked to you before. There's a lot of niggas say stuff, oh, you're a false prophet, he this, he that. You know what I'm saying? Well, come tell me that then. Don't come tell another nigga that. If you got something to say about me, come sit down, have a conversation with me. If you ain't gonna have a conversation with me, then nigga, screw how you feel and what you stand for. Second Samuel chapter 3 verse 23. Hello? 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 Yeah. 3 and 23, man. When Joab and all the host that was with him were come, they told Joab, saying, Abner the son of Ner came to the king, and he hath sent him away, and he is gone in Shalom. Then Joab came to the king and said, what hast thou done? Abner came unto thee. Why is it thou sent him away, and he is quite gone? Thou know Abner the son of Ner, that he came to deceive thee, and to know thy going out and thy coming in, and to know all that thou do. And when Joab came out from David, he sent messengers after Abner, which brought him again from the well of Sarah. But David knew it not. And when Abner returned to Hebron, Joab took him aside in the gate to speak with him quietly, and smote him there under the fifth rib, that he died for the blood of Ashel his brother. And afterwards, when David heard it, he said, I and my kingdom are guiltless before Yahuwah forever, from the blood of Abner the son of Ner. Let it rest on the head of Joab and all his father's house. Let there not fall from the house of Joab one that have an issue, or that is a leper, or that lean on a staff, or that fall on the sword, or that lack bread. So Joab and Abishai his brother slew Abner, because he had slain their brother Ashel at Gibeon in the battle. So this is why he killed the man. But see, hold on. Look at verse 34, right? I want you to see what David said about it. I did keep reading verse 31, right? And David said to Joab and to all the people that were with him, rent your clothes and gird you with sackcloth and mourn before Abner. And King David himself followed the bier. And they buried Abner in Hebron, and the king lifted up his voice and wept at the grave of Abner, and all the people wept. And the king lamented over Abner and said, died Abner as a fool die? Thy hands were not bound, nor thy feet put into fetters. As a man fall before wicked men, so fall thou. And the people wept again over him. That's the same thing that we just seen in that Psalms in 27. He say, when my enemies sought to do something to me, and they stumbled. And they stumbled. And David is weeping. He said, did he fall before wicked men? This is the same thing happened to Amashag, as we already know. He fell before wicked men. I want you to come over here to 2 Samuel chapter 2 so you can see the battle of the story. And look at verse 8 so y'all can see what's going on if you're not familiar with it. It says, but Abner, the son of Ner, captain of Saul's host, took Ishaboth, the son of Saul, and brought him over to Mahanaim. And he made him king over Gilead, and over the Asherites, and over Jezreel, and over Ephraim, and over Benjamin, and over all Yasharah. Ishbosheth, Saul's son, was 40 years old when he began to reign over Yasharah, and reigned 2 years, but the house of Yehudah followed David. At that time, David was king in Hebron over the house of Yehudah 7 years and 6 months. Abner, the son of Ner, and the servants of Ishabosh, the son of Shaul, went out from Menahem to Gibeon, and Joab, the son of Zeruiah, and the servants of David went out and met together by the pool of Gibeon. And they sat down, the one on the one side of the pool, and the other on the other side of the pool. And Abner said to Joab, let the young men now arise and play before us. And Joab said, let them arise. Then there arose and went over by number 12 of Benjamin, which pertained to Ishbosheth, the son of Saul, and of the 12 servants of David. And they caught every one his fellow by the head, and thrust his sword in his fellow's side, so they fell down together. Wherefore that place was called Helkath-Zerim, which is in Gibeon. And there was a very sore battle that day, and Abner was beaten, the men of Yasharah, before the servants of David. And there were 3 sons of Zeruiah there, Joab and Abishai and Ashel. And Ashel was light as foot as a wild roe. Ashel pursued after Abner in the going. He turned not to the right hand nor to the left from following Abner. Abner looked behind him and said, art thou Ashel? And he answered, I am. Abner said to him, turn aside to the right hand or to the left, and lay thee hold on one of the young men, and take his armor. But Ashel would not turn aside from following him. And Abner again said to Ashel, turn thee aside from following me. Wherefore should I smite thee to the ground? How then should I hold up my face to Joab thy brother? Howbeit he refused to turn aside, wherefore Abner with the hinder end of the spear smote him under the 5th rib, and the spear came out behind him, and he fell down there and died in the same place. And it came to pass that as many came to the place where Ashel fell down and died, stood still. Joab also and Abishai pursued after Abner, and the sun went down when they were come to the hill of Ammah that lie before Gilead by the way of the wilderness of Gibeon. And the children of Benjamin gathered themselves together after Abner, and became one troop, and stood on the top of a hill. Then Abner called to Joab and said, shall the sword devour forever? Know thou that it will be bitterness in the latter end. How long shall it be then ere thou bid the people return from following their brethren? Joab said, as Elohim live, unless thou had spoken, surely then in the morning the people had gone up, everyone from following his brother. And Joab blew a trumpet, and all the people stood still, and pursued after Yasharah no more, neither fought they any more. And Abner and his men walked all that night through the plain, passed over Jordan, went through Bithron, and came to Mahanaim. Joab returned from following Abner, and when he gathered all the people together, There lacked of David's servants 19 men in Ashal. But the servants of David had smitten Benjamin and of Abner's men, so that 360 men died. They took up Ashal and buried him in the sepulchre of his father, which was in Bethlehem. And Joab and his men went all night, and they came to Hebron in the break of day. Now, of course, we just touched on something. As you see that Joab hit Abner in the side. Well, Abner hit Ashel in the side, and you see what Abner did to Ashel, the same thing was done unto him. Now, notice that he told him to stop chasing after him. And he told him, and he made a statement to him. He says, shall the sword devour forever? This is in verse 26. Know that it will be bitterness in the latter end. Now, they came after this man to kill him. He said, don't you realize it'll be bitterness in the latter end? You know, and Joab stopped from following after Abner at this time. Now, we know that Hamashiach died, and they chased him down. And he said, and we read in Job, he made his company with wicked men. So we need to sit back and see how he made his company with wicked men. And then we'll look at someone else who made company with wicked men, because these things are just going to occur when you're dealing with the word. We talk about wheats and tares, and, you know, that stuff is mentioned. But at the end of the day, it's always going to be false people around you. You can't avoid it. You won't buck it. That's the reality of the word. And you're going to have to be able to understand that and deal with it. If Yahushua dealt with it, you've got to understand that you will deal with it. So what were we finna swing to? Let's look at 2 Corinthians 11, probably about 22 first. Oh yeah, we was going to look at him being with wicked men. That's what it was. Luke 23. Luke 23 first. We know that Judas was the false brother. We know that. But also the scribes and Pharisees were false brethren, because they delivered up their brother to death. And for what cause? All he did was bear witness unto the truth. It's amazing how Yasharal is always ready to do evil to those who do nothing but tell the truth. But yet we say that we are of the truth. 22, 23, and 32. That's the part that killed me. We say we are the truth, but then seek to do harm to somebody for speaking the truth. I surely would like a good explanation for that. And there were also two other malefactors led with him to be put to death. And when they were come to the place which is called Calvary, they crucified him, and the malefactors, one on the right hand and the other on the left. Now don't get me wrong. I stated what I said, and I meant every single solitary word of it. But at the same token, I feel the same way the master said, because see, I don't, our law tell us not to hold no grudges, and truly I don't walk with them. I ain't got no grudge against Tony Smith. I ain't got no grudge against this nigga. I mean, I'm just telling you, that's how I felt about Tony Smith at the time. In the midst of it, that's how I felt watching my people hurt. That's what I wanted to do. Do you know what I'm saying? I knew that I could not do that, and I wasn't going to do it. But if it would have been permissible, I would have done it with a smile, with no problem. Do you know what I'm saying? And even the same token in this particular situation, in the defense of certain individuals, I would gladly take a life or lose mine, and I'll do it with a smile. I have no problem with that. Do you know what I'm saying? And as men, you're supposed to be ready, willing, and able at all times to defend and protect those who are near and dear unto you, and be willing to lose your life in their defense. If you're not willing to do that, you ain't no man. You know what I'm saying? I was talking with a brother. We ended up coming to a conclusion about that video that dude, that preacher dead. You know what I'm saying? But he made strong, just looking at Genesis, and he was going through certain things, saying the 5 things that a man needed before he got him a woman. You know what I'm saying? And it's not necessarily nothing wrong with if a woman wants to deal with you and you in a low financial state, and she's aware of that, and she choose to want to do that. It'll kind of be harder on the man if he any type of man, because it's going to bother him because he can't do certain things for that woman that he would like to do, and he could get frustrated. You know what I'm saying? Because he can't do those things. You know what I'm saying? But he just was stating like, hey man, and they took it as if he was saying you had to be rich or you had to do this. He was saying, hey man, if you ain't got no job, if you ain't got no means of income, then you don't need no woman. If you can't provide for this woman, if you can't protect this woman, if you can't teach this woman nothing, then you don't need no woman. You know what I'm saying? And that's just a part about being a man. A man's supposed to want to provide and protect and to lead and to guide and to teach his woman. And a woman should naturally, that's the type of man you should want to choose instead of choosing reclamation projects. I think that's what a lot of us end up doing is we see somebody that might be appealing to our eyes, but their character, spirits, and personality, well, I ain't gonna say personality, their character and their spirits are not in line with what we say we stand for. So then we feel like that we can turn them and mold them into becoming what we want them to be because they're pleasing to our eyes. But then you just end up injuring yourself and possibly that other person and trying to get them to be something that they are not. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do with these false and idol gods that we serve. We try to, that's what your ancestors did with the golden calf. They tried to make the golden calf Yah. You try to make your Christmas tree. You try to make your wreaths and your Easter bunnies and all this other stuff, the crosses and all this stuff. You try to make them the creator because they're appealing to your eyes or to your flesh. When in actuality, that ain't Yah. If you say you want Yah, then you should, and you down with Yah and you see his character and his attributes, then that's what you ought to go after. So if you see a man or a woman that possess the character and attributes that you say you desire, then that's what you ought to go after. And if you say you a man, then you supposed to protect your people. You supposed to protect your people to the death. And you know why I say that? Because Yah protects his people. That's why we went through all that about touch my prophet, don't touch my anointed, do my prophets no harm, because he defends and protects his wife. He defends and protects his children. So as a man, you're supposed to defend and protect your woman. And when we say your woman, not just necessarily your woman, but black women, period. No matter if she's your wife or not. No matter if you can have sex with her or not. You're supposed to defend your children. No matter if they're your child or not. That's still your child. You don't have to know their parents. You don't have to know that child. That's still your child. Hey man, that's a white man's job to protect a white woman. But if she's in danger in your presence, you know, hold that down. But hey man, that sounds like white people problem. Just being honest though, that's the white man's job to protect the white woman. It ain't my job to protect white women, Asian women, Indian women, Arabic women. That ain't my job. You ain't see us running around protecting no Gentiles. It's not my job. It's just not. It's not my job. But it's your job as a black man to protect the black. Why do you think our women be looking at us the way they be looking at us? Because one, niggas don't want to lead, which is to see situations and come up with a way to fix it. Even if that woman may not necessarily agree with how he going about how to fix it, at least the man had something in his brain that he had together of what he was going to do to fix it. You know what I'm saying? That she know that he has the ability to direct and to take control of a situation and to move about to fix it. You don't want to deal with nobody that ain't got no, when they face with adversity, they have no means in their head of what they're going to do to fix it. Even at least at the bare minimum, if you don't agree with the track the way he was going or how to fix it, you could at least give your input on how you could see how they fix it, and maybe he'll take that into consideration and put that into the plan. You don't want to deal with a nigga ain't going to, it don't even matter. I know that might be kind of rough. If a nigga tried you and your nigga got beat up 15 times out of 15, at least he was willing to stand up and fight and take that whooping though. You know what I'm saying? No, I didn't say that because I heard, listen, some of y'all don't know who this is. Eric Bischoff, he used to run WCW. He said he wanted to fight somebody. He said he wanted to fight Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon a real big dude. He was like, yeah, man, he could have probably beat me up. He said, shoot, I done got beat up before. But the thing is, though, I could hold my own and I was willing to bump. He said, shoot. He said, you get over a butt whooping, they pass. I know some women be like, he can't beat nobody. But at least he had the heart to fight, though. Because you got some niggas, they ain't even going to take that whooping. They going to run and leave them. Leave you right there. He ain't going to defend your honor. He ain't going to defend nothing. He going to be like, shoot, your butt shouldn't have got close to his hand. Some of y'all see them pictures. What if this big man hit your wife on the butt? Well, let's shoot him. I'm not finna fight this big nigga, but I'm finna find something to hit him with. You gotta do something. You gotta know there's some consequences and repercussions. If this nigga, they showing a nigga who's just abnormally big. You know, you saying you like this here, man. Like, come on, man. This nigga 6'7", 315 pounds. You 5'6", 155 pounds. You know you're not finna beat this man up. This man has a marketed weight, man, unless you are trained fighter or something. Trained in martial arts, break this nigga down. Because I've seen that in UFC, though. Them little small niggas break them big rusty niggas down. That's for y'all even looked at it. That's when they ain't had no weight classes. No, none of that. They just threw niggas in there and told them to fight. You definitely don't want no man that don't have no desire to provide for you. And you definitely don't want no man who can't teach you nothing. And it don't necessarily mean he got to teach you the word, but this man got to be able to teach you something. How can you be with a man you can't learn nothing from? You know what I'm saying? That men, you supposed to look at these things, cultivate these type of things in yourself, manifest them. But we just dealing with two things. Really one thing. You supposed to protect them women and them children, though. Because your God do it. Your God do it. So how do we say we of him and then we not willing to protect women and children? Because this man wanted to murder Amalek, not just for coming after Yasharal, but for coming after women and children. Because remember, he came around the back to the weakest part where the women and kids were at. You better realize what Jacob did when Esau came. He took the women and the children and put them behind him. That's a means of I am going to protect them. That if you're going to get to them, you got to kill me first. This the stock we come from. Niggas is cool with niggas threatening children and disrespecting women and not protecting women and not protecting children. How? That's not book. But I'm the bad guy because I say what the book say. Well, I say, screw how you feel. The book say what it say. Protect your women, protect your children to the death. Matter of fact, since I said that, because we just sitting back looking at how he would kill with these, let me read that verse 34 though. Kill with these criminals, with these wicked people. Then said Yahushua, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. But come over here to Nehemiah chapter 4 though. You know, I told y'all, man, I used to be with my homeboy, man. We talk about it all the time, man. Like, man, if it go down, man, we just got to say a prayer, man. Just sit back and be like he hope he sent a Malakim down to chop these people down. Because that was just a very, very sad thing to me to sit back. 4-14, I want to say. Make it about 4-11. Sad thing to sit back and think about watching those babies getting killed. That's when, you know, we coming home and niggas just talking about, you know, FEMA camp did, FEMA camp that, martial law did, martial law that. And all the nigga think about is them kids. And that I ain't want to see that. That's going to sadden my soul to watch these children, to just see children get killed. No, man. We got to ride for that. We got to ride for that. Don't just watch the babies get killed, man. They churn. They churn, man. They just kids. Babies. Literally. Not no grown rusty nigga who could do for herself, but a baby. And our adversary said, they shall not know neither see till we come in the midst among them and slay them and cause the work to cease. Came to pass that when the Yahudim which dwelt by them came, they said unto us 10 times, from all places whence shall you return unto us, they will be upon you. Therefore said I in the lower places behind the wall and on the higher places, I even set the people after their families with their swords, their spears, and their bows. And I looked and rose up and said unto the nobles and to the rulers and to the rest of the people, be ye not afraid of them, remember Yahuwah. Be not ye afraid of them, remember Yahuwah, which is great and terrible, and fight for your brethren, your sons, and your daughters, and your wives, and your houses. Now notice he put your brother, fight for your brother. And then he said, fight for your sons, fight for your children, fight for your wives. Protect those women and protect those children. Don't let them do harm to your wives. Don't let them do harm to your children. Protect them. If a nigga got a problem because I say that, and that I'm on that, and I feel that that's how a man ought to move according to the text, then you're not a man in my estimation, and I do not respect you. If you have a problem with that, because you should have a problem with anyone who would want to do harm to women and children or disrespect women and children. You should have a problem with them. Says a lot about your character. Nevertheless, 2 Corinthians 11. That's why women be looking at us so crazy all the time, man, because they don't feel protected. All a woman wants is security and stability. I don't think that's much to ask. He ain't asking for much. All a man is looking for is support, nurture, and love. I don't think that's much. And I think if you give a woman security and stability, that she'll render those things back. Second Corinthians 11 and 24 or 22. Make it 21. Make it 19. For you suffer fools gladly, seeing yourselves are wise. For ye suffer if a man bring you into bondage, if a man devour you, if a man take of you, if a man exalt himself, if a man smite you on the face. I speak as concerning reproaches, though we had been weak. Howbeit, whensoever my any is bold, I speak foolishly. I am bold also. Are they Abarim? So am I. Are they Yasharal? So am I. Are they the seed of Abraham? So am I. Are they ministers of Mashiach? I speak as a fool. I am more in labors, more abundant, in stripes, above measure, in prisons, more frequent, in deaths, oft. Of the Yahudim 5 times received I 40 stripes, save one. Thrice was I beaten with rods, once was I stoned. Thrice I suffered shipwreck. Night and day have I been in the deep. In journeyings often, in perils of waters, and perils of robbers, and perils by my own countrymen, and perils by the heathen, and perils in the city, and perils in the wilderness, and perils in the sea, and perils among false brethren. In weariness and painfulness, and watchings often, and hunger and in thirst and in fastings often, and cold and nakedness. And besides those things that are without, that which come upon me daily, the care of all the synagogues. Who is weak? Am I not weak? Who is offended? And I burn not. I must needs esteem. I will esteem of the things which concern my infirmities. The Elohim and Father of our Master Yahushua HaMashiach, which is Baruch forevermore, know that I lie not. This man sat back and said he was in trouble among false brethren. You definitely can't sit back and threaten somebody's life and say you was ever a brother. Because I'm going to be honest with you. If you can do that, you ain't love a nigga from the jump street. You wasn't down with a nigga from the jump street. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother level right there. It never existed. Like Jadakiss said, you know, it was never all love, so stop the lies. You know what I'm saying? Niggas will blow your brains out and watch you bleed. The same nigga that you trust let you watch your seed. You know what I'm saying? Cause boy, you don't go to that extreme. You don't get to that extreme. But you ain't love a nigga, you could do that. Never did. You won't convince me of it. I wouldn't care if you fell out with somebody or not. You ain't gonna want to do him no harm. You just gonna be, hey man, it just is what it is. No matter if you on bad terms with somebody, your loyalty don't change. It doesn't change. So you feel like you on bad terms with somebody, oh, I know what it is. I'm gonna threaten that nigga live. I bet he leave me alone then. Oh, you ain't never loved me. You couldn't even convince me of that. You couldn't convince me of that. No sir. No way, no how. But like this man say, he said, I suffer all of these things. And this is how you end up being made light unto Yahuwah. Because you're going to have to humble yourself. Because he asked the question in Isaiah 40. Who has instructed him? Who has taught him that you can liken him unto him? So let's see. John chapter 12, verse 47. Let's see who instructed Yahushua, who taught him. And after that, John chapter 15, and let's see who would teach us. You know, I remember like what Pac said, you know, I'll probably be murdered for the things that I say. Probably will. Don't make me no difference. Niggas will get over it. One thing I know, once you die, people get over it. Some people are a little sadder longer than others. You know what I'm talking about? Eventually they get over it. You just a memory, just drift into the wind. The sooner you accept that, the better off you're going to be. You know what I'm saying? We were just talking about the other day. Niggas say, you probably not going to come to my funeral. Well, nigga, you ain't going to know, is it? If I'm dead, I ain't going to know if now one of you niggas down. Do you know what I'm saying? It ain't like I'm going to be just floating, my spirit going to be floating like it be on TV in the sky, Indian style, looking around here. I'm looking. That nigga Will ain't here. I'm going to come haunt his house. The nigga say, what? This nigga Dwight Slade, D Slade, I'm gonna go to their house and haunt them. No, nigga, you dead. You know what I'm talking about? I guarantee you my daddy ain't like, oh, that nigga ain't come to my way. Old rotten bastard. You know what I'm saying? He ain't say none of that. You know what he said? Nothing. You know what he thought? Nothing. You know what he breathed? Nothing. You know what he was doing? He was dead. He was dead. You know what I'm talking about? It doesn't make no difference. But you know what you got to be worried about? When he put that breath back in them lungs you got, and he reanimate that flesh and make them sinews come back on each other and wrap that flesh back up, what's going to happen when you stand in front of that throne? That's what you need to be worried about. You don't need to be worried about when you lay down. You need to be worried about when you get back up. That's what you need to be concerned with. That's where your concern needs to lie. I don't think a lot of people are concerned about what's going to happen to them when they get up. I know people try to convince you they're a good person. People want to try to convince you that they're righteous. People want to try to convince you that they set apart. One thing about it, I ain't tried to convince nobody of nothing. The entire time I've been doing it, I really don't care what you think about me. You know what I'm saying? My work speaks for itself. Let Yahuwah judge it. You know what I'm saying? Bottom line. You know niggas so backwards, a nigga a judge that, and I just say that because I seen a nigga say this in the video. Dude say, yeah, man, we got all these people at our congregation. Look at our parking lot. We got to be doing something right. This how you judge it? Based by how many people here that you got to be doing right? How we come in the word and still judge things by Christian standards? The bigger the congregation, y'all got to be there. The more money you got, y'all got to be there. The bigger your sanctuary, y'all got to be there. How? What are you judging that by? Who told you that? Where did he say that in the text? The more YouTube video views you got? You know the stuff that killed me? I see nigga do is transferring. Try to say to other people doing the same junk that it is that you doing. Case in point, when somebody cheating on somebody, they always accuse the other person of cheating all the time. Because you the one doing it, because you're trying to take the spotlight off yourself. So you're trying to shift the blame on somebody else. So people not actually paying attention to what it is you do. I know some people feel like people who preach against sin, that they pointing out certain things to take the pressure off of themselves. Now, that's one thing if you going around pointing the finger at every single solitary person you come across versus you just stating what the book says and you're speaking against a behavior or behaviors. Because that's what you're supposed to do. How else are the people going to repent where they can be washed, where they can be cleansed so that they can be saved if don't nobody point out these behaviors will cause you to perish? Why ain't nobody going to point out it's not good to be envious? It's not good to have strife. It's not good to have wrath. It's not good to be preaching heresies. It's not good to be an adulteress. It's not good to be a fornicator. It's not good to be an abuser of yourselves or mankind. It's not good to be a thief. All of us, or a liar. All of us were any of one of these things until you were washed and regenerated in the Mashiach. Now those things should be passed away. And then we should be moving on to perfection. But see, everybody wants to feel good and feel great and feel better about doing wrong. And it should never be that way. Luke 12:47. If any man hear my words and believe not, I judge him not, for I came not to judge the world, but to save the world. He that reject me and receive not my words have one that judge him. The word that I have spoken, the same shall judge him in the last day. For I have not spoken of myself, but the Father which sent me gave me a commandment what I should say and what I should speak. And I know that his commandment is life everlasting. Whatsoever I speak therefore, even as the Father said unto me, so I speak. So we see who taught Yahusha. We talked about this a couple weeks ago, about train up a child in the way that he should go and he shall not depart. We know who taught him understanding. We know who taught him knowledge. We know after his resurrection, he taught knowledge and he taught understanding. Now let's look at John chapter 15. And let's look at verse 26. But when the Comforter is come, whom I will send unto you from the Father, even the Ruach of truth, which proceeds from the Father, he shall testify of me. And ye shall also bear witness, because you have been with me from the beginning. Now he's talking to his apostles, and we know this is Psalms 139:16. My members were written in a book before they were. You got to understand that you were with him from the beginning. You know, remember he say, I born you from the belly, I carry you even to your whore hairs. It is I that deliver you. He's been with you from the beginning. Some of y'all wonder why your life went the way that it went and why you think the way that you thought. You know what I'm saying? You thought that particular way because you were with it from the beginning. We were just talking about this the other day. Yesterday, matter of fact. Okay, boom. It had been said to me like the understanding that we bring forth is scary. Scary in regards of, at least in his opinion, that the way that they were living before they received it let you really realize the way that you were going wasn't good. And then sometimes people want to really stay in the way that they were at a particular time and try to bring the level of knowledge and wisdom and understanding that they had now and meld it with a past time. And you can't necessarily do that because now you put a new wine in old bottles and it's going to bust. Because you got to leave what was in the past. You got to leave that where that's at. You know what I'm saying? And in a lot of things in life, we do that all the time. You try to take the old and mix it with the new. When you got to let the old go so you can get the fullness of what is new. That's why a lot of brothers are not getting the power of Elohim because they holding on to the old covenant and not fully embracing the new. That's what's built on better promises and all of these things. They don't really want to do that. Now, of course, we got to finish what we mentioned with Abner. Abner died. Let's look what happened to Joab. Just bear with me while I'm trying. Cause I gotta clean all this stuff up. Cause it's about 10:45, and I gotta clean up a lot of stuff. 1 Kings chapter 2. Cause you gotta remember something. What you think to do to somebody else, that wasn't gonna be done to you. Now, just in a short synopsis, cause y'all know this, Judas thought to get a Mashiach killed. That same pit and hole that he dug for a Mashiach, he fell in that same pit himself, and he hung himself. He sought to get a Mashiach hung, and it was only just and right that he got hung. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, life for a life. So when you buck Mashiach, it's only right that he render unto you what you rendered unto him. That's why I mentioned what Jeremiah said. You could kill me, but surely, and we'll read the verse just so y'all know what it said. But surely you'll have righteous blood on your hands, and may you will requite you accordingly. And we'll look at Zechariah, who said the exact same thing when he was killed. Because he didn't sit back and say, oh no, don't kill me. That man say, man, screw all you niggas. His firmness and his trust was in Yahuwah. He see nothing about that. Paul say, man, I've been stoned, I've been beat. All that. I'm still out here though. They ain't killed me yet. 1 Kings chapter 2. Only reason why they ain't kill him yet because it was time for he had to keep on doing what he had to do. 2 and 1. Now the days of David drew near that he should die, and he charged Solomon his son, saying, I go the way of all the earth, be thou strong therefore, and do what? Show thyself a man. That's what each one of y'all brothers got to remember, man. Be strong and show yourself to be a man. See, our bigger problem is, that's what I was telling the brother when we were reasoning. Like I said, there ain't no shade. No, it's a good, fruitful conversation because we came to a mutual agreement. That we pick at the younger generation for doing this, that, then the third, but they doing this, that, then the third because the men before them weren't being men. So what were they going to see to emulate? You know what I'm saying? If you chasing hoes, they gonna chase hoes. If you don't want to take care of yourself, or you let a woman take care of you, then that's what they gonna do. If the daddy done ran and bucked, then you done already put this young man behind an 8 ball. Then you want to talk about, see these young boys out here ain't doing this and doing that. Well, you at fault, nigga. It's your fault. It's not his fault, it's your fault. It's his fault to a certain extent because he's responsible for his choices and his decisions. But it's your fault because you supposed to taught him better and you neglected your duty as a man. So you have no right to say anything to him about being a man. But then you got niggas who teach young men bad things. Or let a woman take, any man that teach a man to let a woman take care of him ought to be castrated. You know what I'm saying? Or you let that woman take care of you. How? Why would you teach a young man that? Any man that teach a man that it's cool to put your hands on a woman or call a woman out of her name or to run out on your children or to not do right by your children, whether it be mentally, emotionally, spiritually, or financially, you ought to be castrated. Nevertheless, and keep the charge of Yahuwah the Elohim to walk in his ways, to keep his statutes and his commandments and his judgments and his testimonies, as it is written in the Torah of Moses. Hello? Hello? That thou may prosper in all that thou do. And whatsoever thou turn thyself, that Yahuwah may continue his word which he spake concerning me, saying, if thy children take heed to their way to walk before me in truth with all their heart and with all their soul, there shall not fail thee, said he, a man on the throne of Yasharal. Moreover, thou know also what Joab the son of Zeruiah did to me, and what he did to the two captains of the host of Yasharal, unto Abner the son of Ner, and unto Amasa the son of Jether, whom he slew, and shed the blood of war in Shalom, and put the blood of war upon his girdle that was about his loins, and his shoes that were on his feet. Do therefore according to thy wisdom, and let not his hoar head go down to the grave in Shalom. Now the father is instructing the son to render unto Joab the same thing that he rendered unto two men who were more righteous than he. Because that's what he said about Amasa in 2 Samuel chapter 20. That man was more righteous than Joab. He said about Abner, did Abner die as a fool? But then he also said, will the sword devour, and when you see not bitterness in the end? So you have to sit back and look at it. Let's see why we say that. Matthew chapter 26. Same thing happened that he did to them, God did unto him. Matthew 26, I want to say about verse 52, and then Revelation 13. Because you have to look at, I meant to mean Matthew chapter 5. And that's when he told you, he said in old times, love your friends and hate your enemies. And it was eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. But he said, no, don't do that. The reason why he tell you, no, don't do that, it also goes to 1 Samuel 24, when David thought to avenge himself on Nabal. And then Abigail spoke those words of wisdom. And he said, Yah get him. And Nabal died from a heart attack. For all intents and purposes, how it's described. His heart stopped. He froze and he died. Y'all paid him back. Y'all paid him back. You just sit back and look at it. What Joab thought to do to Abner, it got done back to him. What Judas thought to do to Yahusha, it got done back to him. What anybody seeks to do to anyone that is of you, it's like this here. Balak sought to curse Yasharal, a curse came back to him. That's how it works. This is why when you read 1 Chronicles 16, he talking about what happened in the wilderness when he say, touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm, because he was speaking of how he say he destroyed kings in the wilderness for you. Because you can't touch, nor threaten, nor do no harm to anyone who belongs to Yahuwah and think that you will not be repaid for it. Even if you're able to bring that work to pass, as Joab was able to kill Amasa, he was able to kill Abner, he still got judgment rendered on his head, though. You got to understand that. That's why those men in Revelation 6 said, how long before you avenge our blood? He said, man, take these white robe, man, and rest for a little season, for the rest of your brethren got to be killed like you are. Because they were wondering, when will you avenge this blood? Because we know you will avenge it. This is why Jeremiah spoke with the confidence that he had, and that's why I have the confidence that I have. You kill me, surely you'll have innocent blood on your hands, because I don't see it. You'll be doing me a favor. You will be giving me the thing that I've longed for since I was at least 11 years old. See, I was terrified of death as a child till my granddaddy died. Then the fear of death subsided greatly. I no longer had any fear of it. I used to have numerous dreams about death, and it would torment me greatly as a child. So I can understand what Hebrews chapter 2 talking about. All those in their lifetime were subject under bondage because of death. Because of the fear and the torment of it. Because of the not knowing. The unknown. See, people hate what they don't understand. And they fear what they can't control. You know what I'm saying? Once that subsided, I was ready to go. I ain't know nothing about no word. Ain't know nothing about going to hell or none of that. I wasn't thinking about, going to hell. I just was ready to go because I don't like it here. This world is very, very wicked. People really don't love and care about each other like they say, and I've seen this. I'm not talking about because of no recent developments. I've seen this over the course of my entire life. I'm watching that on my daddy's side of the family are grown people fighting and arguing about a funeral, how a funeral was going to be executed, and money. It's disgusting. Niggas who say they love you, niggas don't really love you. You know what I'm saying? This nigga say they love my daddy, nigga didn't love my daddy. I know niggas say they love me, niggas don't really love me. I know it's only a few people on this planet actually love me. I been know that. I told y'all last summer that if it wasn't for the word, niggas wouldn't even fool with me. Straight up. I know this. You know what I'm saying? I'm not walking around here, oh, people love me so much. I know people don't. I'm cool with it though. I still sleep good at night. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing to please my God, not please no man. I'm not in the business of that. And I'm going to tell the truth. Period. You know what I'm saying? Period. I don't care if a nigga like it or not. It make no difference. Because I would want a nigga to do it for me. I don't want nobody. I don't need... One thing about it, nigga done seen, boy, I can sit back. You know, my daddy the same way from what I was told. He'd sit back and argue about stuff all day long. And it'd be over with once that debate and argument is over with. When we talk about argue, just debate. Just have a discussion. It's not as serious. You know what I'm saying? I hear your perspective. You hear mine. We kick it around like this. It's over with. I'm not walking around mad with this nigga because he don't agree with me. I don't need no yes men around me. I don't need niggas agreeing with everything. It's all right if you disagree. It's not a big deal. It's not the end of the world. Niggas want niggas around them who gonna ride with everything they say and do. You could give me a different perspective on something I say. I may consider it and put it into play. I may not. I respect you enough for you to voice your perspective though. See, a nigga feel like because you may not agree with their perspective that you don't want to hear their perspective. Just because I don't agree with it don't mean I don't want you to speak your mind. You speak your mind, it doesn't mean anything. I might say something, you might not agree with it. So what? So what? So what? Why is that such a big deal that niggas get offended because a nigga don't agree with them? Why? Why is your feelings hurt by that? Somebody explain that to me. I don't understand it. My homeboys done did stuff. I didn't agree with them. I told him that. That was the end of it. That was, you know what I'm saying? Wasn't a big deal. I ain't feeling that, bro. He be like, all right, nigga, shoot. I'm still finna do what it is that I do, though. Shoot. That's you, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I can't rock with you on that. It's cool. You know what I'm saying? You gonna roll up or what? It's just pretty much how the conversation went. Nigga come tell me, bro, I ain't feeling that what you did right there, man. I ain't don't agree with that. I'm like, well, shoot. This was my thinking on it. That's why I made that move. I hear you, nigga. I still don't agree with it. No doubt. You trying to smoke this blunt? That was the end of it. Straight up. Nigga walking around, man, that nigga ain't my friend, bro. He didn't agree with what I said. He didn't agree with what I did. A friend ain't supposed to agree with everything you... That's not a friend. That's an enabler. That's not your friend. If you got a friend that agree with everything you say and everything you do, that is not a friend. Ain't nobody finna tell me your friends agree with everything you say or do. Ain't no way in the world. Ain't no way. You're not even convincing me of that. Ain't no way you ain't finna convince me of that. Nigga agree with everything you say. Nigga scared you gonna get mad. You tell him something different. Why you care about a nigga being mad with you for telling the truth? Or for standing for what's right? If it said to me, nigga like, oh, nigga ride with me. Niggas don't ride with me because of me. Niggas ride with what's right. Don't roll with me because you feel me. Roll with what's right. Because if I ain't right and you doing and I'm doing or saying something that ain't right and you rolling with it anyway, you're an idiot. You are an idiot. You supposed to go with what's right. Not people, what's right. Not people, what's right. That's what this book teach you. Why do you think this man tell you don't pity your wife, don't pity your son, don't pity your daughter, stand for what's right? He say not even your brother that's like your own soul. Stand for what's right. And when you stand for what's right, people gonna hate you for it. They gonna say stuff to you, they gonna say stuff about you, they gonna want to do harm to you because you stood for what is right. It's not enough stand-up men walking this planet. Men won't stand up for what's right. That's why our community is in the state that they in. Because niggas got excuses for not standing up for what's right. You know, it was confliction for me selling crack because I knew it wasn't right and I knew what time it was, but I put survival over what was right. And that ain't right. You know what I'm saying? My intentions were good, but my means were wrong. So that cancels out my intentions. Everything about it is wrong. Everything about it is wrong. Oh man, I gotta feed my mom. Like Jay put it, you know, I call myself easing the load. I made the load heavy. Now I need money for commissary. What I called myself making it light, I made it heavier. Because now my sister don't have her brother because he's in prison. So how was I making it better? I made it work. It didn't matter because you're doing it to take care of your mama, to make sure your mama can pay for this and pay for that. Now your mama's stressing because you in the streets every day. She don't know if a nigga go knock on the door and say, we need you to go to the coroner's office. Or she getting a collect call from the jailhouse. That's not making it better. That's making it worse. Your intentions don't matter. Lauryn Hill sung it in a song. People hear, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Your intentions might be good, but you're wrong, so you going to hell. Because that man don't want to hear nothing. Well, I meant good. No, you didn't, nigga. You meant to do what you wanted to do and cloak it in saying you were doing good, when the whole time you were serving yourself and your own interests. Because I put the interest of myself and my people over the interest of my people as a whole. It don't matter if majority of my customers were Caucasian, it still was wrong. Because that's what you're doing. Because younger kids watching what we're doing and they want to emulate it. So for not standing for what we knew was right, we did more harm than good. It didn't matter what our intention was. It didn't matter what the reason was. Yeah, we trying to survive, nigga. It's real out here. It's real out here. See, some of y'all don't know that it's real out here. Some of y'all don't know about going hungry. That's why if you was to go broke, you couldn't hustle your way up out of it. Because you ain't never did it before. You don't know how that feel. You wouldn't know what it's like to take an L and look and see you in a hole and battle your way back up out of it. Because you ain't never had to deal with that. You don't know how that feel. You'll stress and go crazy instead of being calm under pressure. When you've been broke before, it ain't nothing to go broke because you know I've been here before. I can bounce back. I done did it before. I do it again. It's nothing. Y'all give me strength to do it. It's nothing. We can handle that. We soldiers out here. We built for this. That's how you supposed to sit back and look at this word. You supposed to be built for this. You supposed to be hearing the word, laying it up, and be built for this. So a nigga threatening you, people talking bad about you, people wanting to lock you up, that junk shouldn't have no effect on you. I'm built for this. I'm built after the cornerstone, built after the tabernacle, built after the sanctuary. We made for this. He was made for this. I don't see that what you talking about. Where was we finna go? Matthew chapter 26. Yeah, Matthew chapter 26. 26 and 50. You gotta stand firm out here, man. You know what I'm saying? It made no difference. I ain't even gonna get to Joel 8. I may not get. I don't know when I'm gonna finish. I don't even know when I'm gonna get to it. I might grab one of the verses from it though. But just know he won't cast away no perfect man. He ain't cast away Abner. He ain't cast away Amasa. He ain't cast away David. He ain't cast them men away. He ain't cast Jeremiah away. He ain't cast Yahushua away. He ain't cast Paul away. Even with all that they were suffering. He's just. And he'll render every man according to his ways. But you're going to get back what you did, though. He going to pay you back. Like I say, you know, I want to split Tony Smith head right down the middle. You know what I'm saying? Make him feel. And I'm going to tell you why the first thought came in my head, man. We was on the phone, man, me and my nigga from Detroit. And T called, man, and she was weeping. She was weeping. This man say he don't want her. She was weeping, saying, what am I going to do? How am I going to save my soul? Where am I going to go? This man had her feeling like she was going to go to hell. Because he said he didn't want her. My blood boiled. I remember I was at too. I was walking down Willery Drive, right round there from where Dwight done used to stay. And I wanted to go kill that nigga right then and there on the spot. Because I'm hearing my nigga weep. You know what I'm saying? because of a whole nigga who had no care for her or me or anyone else for that matter. And I'm like, that's not right. And my nigga tried to take it. He was on the phone. He was hot too. I don't know if he was hot to the level that I was hot, but he was hot too. Because that's not right. That wasn't right. That wasn't right at all. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't right at all. I was very enraged, very incensed, very, very angry about that. And it wasn't just because it was her. It's because that wasn't right. It just being her, it magnified it. It just magnified it because who it was. But it magnified that. That wasn't right. You know what I'm saying? And I sit back and see that there's too many people out here that don't really care about people's souls. They don't really care about them. You can say whatever you want to say about me. I care about people's souls though. Whatever you thinking. I don't care about the nonsense you got going on. I don't care about being in people's business. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be, you know what I'm saying? If it's something positive you want, that's great. I ain't being in people's business. Your business is your business. It ain't got nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? You share what you choose to share. You know what I'm talking about? But your soul, though, I care about that, though. I care about that because I care about mine. I care about mine. So I care about yours. I don't want you to go to hell. But if you want to go to hell, I say by all means, make sure you get there quickly. Do what you got to do to get there. If you're trying to get in the kingdom of Shamaheen, I'm going to do my best to help you on your way, to help you get there. Period. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do my best to help you, to give you whatever you need so you can get there. I'm not going to do nothing to stop you from getting there. I'm not in this for no other reason than for your soul to be saved. Because that's the only reason why I picked this book up. I didn't pick this book up for no other reason. I didn't pick this book up for no knowledge and understanding that I might flex it before men. I didn't pick this book up for no money. I didn't pick this book up to get no wife or no woman or no booty or no nothing. I picked this book up to save my soul. And that's it. And that's the only thing that y'all should be concerned with. If you're not concerned with saving your soul, just stop now. Just stop now and do you. But if you're concerned with saving your soul, buckle yourself down and do what you got to do to get saved. Nevertheless, 26 and 50. This is 1107. And Yahushua said unto him, Friend, wherefore art thou come? Then came they, and they laid hands on Yahushua and took him. And behold, one of them which were with Yahushua stretched out his hand and drew his sword and struck a servant of the high priest and smote off his ear. Then said Yahushua unto him, Put up again thy sword into his place. For all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword. You know what Revelation 13 finna say, but we'll read both. If you think to murder someone, you shall be murdered. If you think to kill someone with a sword, then by means, because eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, you got to be rendered according to your ways and what you have done. You can't be around here inciting violence, because to threaten someone's life surely is to incite violence. Surely you couldn't co-sign and stamp that. Verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that lead into captivity shall go into captivity. But he that killed with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the Kadeshim. So you got to have patience. If you go, come over here to Jeremiah 28. You got to have patience if you're going to serve Yahuwah. Because you got to realize what can happen to you. You don't got to be realized what can happen to you. Let's look at what they were finna do to Jeremiah. I just always felt that because I just liked what he said. Make sure I'm in the right place because I don't think it's 28. I just like what he said. I felt what he said because that's how you supposed to approach it. If you're going to serve y'all, it's 26, everybody. It's my apologies, it's not 28. 26 and 12. 26 and 11. I just want y'all to hear why he said what he said. But then look at what he said when he said it. Then spake the priests and the prophets unto the princes and to all the people, saying, This man is worthy to die. For he have prophesied against this city as you have heard with your ears. So they wanted to kill this man for telling the truth. They said this man was worthy to die for telling the truth. telling the truth as forth as the word of Yahuwah. And people going to want to kill you for saying with the word. That's why the master said the world cannot hate you. It's me they hate because I testify of it. I can't hate you. They hate me for telling the truth. So he said if they hated me, they're going to hate you also. Then spake Jeremiah unto all the princes and all the people, saying, Yahuwah sent me to prophesy against this house and against this city, all the words that you have heard. Therefore now amend your ways and your doings, and obey the voice of Yahuwah your Elohim, and Yahuwah will repent of him of the evil that he hath pronounced against you. As for me, behold, I am in your hand, do with me as seemed good in me unto you. But know ye for certain that if you put me to death, you shall surely bring innocent blood upon yourselves, and upon this city, and upon the inhabitants thereof. For of a truth, Yahuwah has sent me unto you to speak all these words in your ears. Now, that's why I said this here, because I remember I said this here when a brother would come and talking crazy to a good brother, man. I ain't never spoke to the brother directly. But I just feel in my heart that he's a good dude. Yahuwah would have to prove otherwise. I just feel like he's a good dude. You know what I'm saying? Brother named Robert, man. I think he stays in St. Louis, man. You know, but I had told the dude, like I said to y'all, on the off chance that the word of Yah is in my mouth, on the off chance that he sent me, on the off chance that I belong to him, and you come against me, what do you think will happen to you? Because you may very well kill me. What type of judgment you think gonna come on your head for spilling innocent blood? Because if I've done no harm or no foul or no sin unto you or unto any other, and you spill my blood, you got to pay for that. Let's see why. Zechariah 20. I mean 2 Chronicles 20. This is definitely not 20 chapters in the book of Zechariah. Don't worry about how we were liking the Yah. We started with that, but you clearly swung us in another spot. I'll come back and deal with that another day. Second, it would help if I was in second and not first. Second Chronicle 20. So I'm in the right place. My bad, y'all. It was chapter 24. 24 and 17. Now after the death of Jehoiada came the princes of Yehuda and made obeisance to the king. Then the king hearkened unto them. And they left the house of Yahuwah Elohim of their fathers and served groves and idols. And wrath came upon Yehuda and Jerusalem for the trespass. Yet he sent prophets to them to bring them again unto Yahuwah, and they testified against them, but they would not give ear. And the Ruach of Elohim came upon Zechariah the son of Jehoiada the priest, which stood above the people, and said unto them, Thus saith Elohim, Why transgress ye the commandments of Yahuwah, that ye cannot prosper? Because you have forsaken Yahuwah, he have also forsaken you. And they conspired against him and stoned him with stones of the commandment of the king in the court of the house of Yahuwah. Thus Joash the king remembered not the kindness which Jehoiada his father had done to him, but slew his son. And when he died, he said, Yahuwah look upon it and require it. Now I'm going to show y'all something, right? Revelation 18. And you know when he said they didn't remember the kindness of Zechariah's daddy? See, I'm going to tell y'all something. And I've noticed this in my lifetime. You can do a lot of good things for people for an extended period of time. Say one thing they don't like, and you the most vile person that ever existed in the face of the planet. And all the good that you did, all the times you held them down, all the times you looked out, all the times you showed them love and came through in the clutch, they don't remember none of that. It's like it all disappears. And all they remember is the one time you told them something they didn't want to hear. Or the one time you didn't ride with them on something they wanted to do. Now all of a sudden, you this, that, there, and the third. Do you know what I'm saying? Some of y'all know what I'm talking about, because some of y'all done experienced that. In my opinion, that's very evil. And truly, you weren't never down with that person for you to even do that. Because I'm real big on that, man. And that is being loyal The people, it's a song I used to bump it all the time, man. It's called Driver's Seat. It's by Capone Noriega, but it's just Noriega and a dude named Amon Thug on the song. But all he was like, he keep it real with a nigga, keep it real with him. If you keep it 100 with me, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. But if you cross me, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Niggas could say a whole bunch of stuff about me, and nigga can't tell you that I crossed them, though. Nigga can't tell you that. Nigga can give you some insinuations and this, that, then the third, but a nigga couldn't stand before you and look me in my eyes and say, you did this, and cross me. Cross people, cause I'm loyal to individuals. Even at the point of, even past the point where I should be loyal to you. You know what I'm saying? Some people seen that last year where I was fiercely loyal to an individual and people felt like I shouldn't have been. But it didn't matter what we were going through. I was still going to ride with them. I still wasn't going to let nobody go off on them or go in on them. I wasn't going to let that happen. You know what I'm saying? It's one of them instances of, like I used to say that at the time, like I can say whatever I want to say about my people. You can't say it though. If me and her were going through something, or me and the nigga going through something, and I'm just walking around and I'm saying it, I say what I want to say. Cause I'm just mad. Cause eventually I'm gonna tell them the same thing I'm saying out loud. You can't say nothing about them though. You keep your mouth closed. You keep that to yourself. Because I've noticed in my lifetime, if you go through it with somebody, people feel like that's the time they can ease out what they really felt about that person you were going through it with. For whatever y'all were going through. Because that's how they really felt about them. And see, when I peep that, and I notice that I don't like that. And I ain't finna let you get on your bicycle and ride that. I ain't finna let you do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to cut you short and I'm going to straighten you right in and there on the spot. You can go ahead and you can cut that short. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not finna do that. Because I'm not finna participate in that with you. You know what I'm saying? So, once you cross me, I already know that you wasn't never really down with me. Couldn't have been. Because you don't cross people you down with. You don't do that. You don't cross people you love. And you definitely don't down talk people you love and care about to make yourself look better. You don't do that. Real people don't do that. Don't feel the need to do that. It's going to show. The cream always ride to the top. I ain't got to do nothing artificial to make myself this, that, then the third. I ain't got to do that. For what? Why? For what? Nevertheless, what was I headed at? I don't even remember. I stopped before I got to the page. Come on back to Joel 34. It'll come out of my head in a minute. Oh yeah, Revelation 18. That's where I was going. I just didn't call it out. But I knew I was headed there. Revelation chapter 18 and verse 20. I just want to read verse 20. It says, "Rejoice over her, thou Shamahim, and ye Kadesh apostles and prophets, for Elohim have avenged you on her." Now you know in Jeremiah 50 and 51 it tells you about Babylon, how Babylon got all the blood in the world in her, and the blood of the Kadeshim and the prophets. And he was telling the earth, and he was telling all the Shamahim and all his apostles, which should let you know it's more than 12 apostles, because he just told his apostles to rejoice as well. And the Kadeshim to rejoice, because he had avenged. Remember the parable of the woman, of the judge, of the unjust judge, who sat back and he said that, "I will avenge you speedily, but nevertheless will the Son of Man find faith when he come upon the earth." So you have to know, this is why Zechariah said, "Look upon my blood and require it." Require my blood at their hand. They conspired to kill him because he told the truth. The same way they conspired against Mashiach and killed him because he told the truth. The same way they conspired against Paul and stoned him because he told the truth. The same way they're going to conspire against you because you stand for and you tell the truth. Because you'll be hated by everyone for this man's namesake. When you stand for Yahushua, you stand for Yahuwah's salvation, which means you stand for the faith, which means you stand for what's Kadash, which means you stand for what's right. And people hate what's right. That's why you say they hated him that rebuke in the gate. They hate him who correct people in the city. They hate him who stand up for the truth. That's why wrong judgment proceed and the law slack. Therefore the right judgment can't come out. So the righteous are killed while the wicked stay alive. While the righteous are condemned and scorned and excoriated. While the wicked are elevated and praised. That's why he say when the wicked are extolled, the righteous mourn. Make them sad. This people love to promote wickedness and wicked people and to condemn the just. It's been like that from the jump street. You better go see Cain and Abel. You better go check this book. You know what I'm saying? So I say, man, a lot of people come for me. I rarely ever speak on it in public. This the first time I probably never done it. My memory served me right. But I had to do it because nigga threatened my people churn. So that's just the same as you threaten mine if I had some. Because I look at them like they mine. So this is the same as you threaten my kids. That's how I see it. You threaten my kids. I'm not with that. And I wasn't going to keep that to myself. You know what I'm saying? At all. Nigga already pulled a sour move with my nigga. I wasn't feeling that. Then you got to compound it. Y'all can't get here quick enough to get all this stuff out of the earth so the righteous can finally breathe. So they can finally breathe and not be surrounded by so much evil and hypocrisy. Job 34. So I got to get ready to let y'all slide, man. We ain't get nowhere close to whom we gonna liken to Yahuwah. Cause I wasn't planning on hitting all this here, but I guess it was. Cause some of this stuff was cycling through my head while I was working this afternoon. When we looked at that verse 8 of Job 34, when he say, which go into company with the workers of iniquity and walk with wicked men. You know that Yahushua walked with a wicked man by the way of Judas. You know he was in the company of the workers of iniquity because he was crucified with them thieves. But we looked at verse 12. You look at verse 12. He say, yea, surely Elohim will not do wickedly, and nor will he pervert judgment, because he will render accordingly. But what we want to focus up is what is man is like Job, who drink up scorning like water. So let's look at Psalms 1 and 1. And after that, 2 Peter 3 and 1. And then we'll just mention some of this stuff with the Mashiach. We don't have time to go read all that. Not right now anyway. Most High willing. Psalms 1 and 1. It say, Baruch is the man that walk not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stand in the way of sinners, nor sit in the seat of the scornful. Now I'm going to tell you, man. I did this for Lil Muffin and Nell long time ago. We went through every spot in the book that spoke about you being blessed and what an individual had to do to actually be blessed. And it is truly a blessed thing if you don't walk in the counsel and advice of ungodly people. So you know if you're taking the advice of ungodly people that you're not blessed. Now we also have to use some discernment, because ungodly people can give wisdom. We're not going to say necessarily that we're going to render Jethro, Moses' father, as ungodly, but he definitely gave Moses some wise counsel when he told him to bring other people along with him to assist him in the work, because the work might destroy him. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what I'm talking about? But when you look at an ungodly person can't give you godly instruction. He can't do that. Then he told you it's blessed for you not to go the way that sinners go. This is another reason why it's always not wise for you to roll with sinners. Because you're not blessed if you're going to do the things that they're doing and you're going the places that they are going. You know what I'm saying? We were clowning about this the other day because I was telling William, like, Wacko sells food. It's a strip club. They sell food. They claim to have the best hamburgers in town. You know what I'm saying? Now, we was like, you could go up in there and get a burger, but you just know your luck. You walk up out of there from copping that burger and the nigga see you sliding up out of there and they gonna be like, boy, that nigga in the strip club. Ain't nobody trying to hear you came in there to buy no burger. Ain't nobody believing that. Yeah, I bet you did go in there to buy a burger. I bet you did go in there to get some buns. That's how they gonna look at it. If my friend pop up and say, yeah, bro, let's go to the strip club. Let's go to a nightclub. I ain't got no business going in there. Why am I going in there? I ain't got no business in there. Ain't nothing godly going. Yahusha is not in there. Why am I going in the way of sinners? How am I blessed following these stupid niggas in here? I got to be stupid for going with them. I got to be devoid of all spiritual intelligence to think this is a wise decision. Because it's temptation all around me. Gyrating people, half-naked people, alcohol, drugs. At the hour, we children of the day, so I ain't even got no business out here this time of night fooling with these people. Because he say that's when drunkenness and wantonness and chambering go on in the night. And I'm out here with them. Talking about I'm light. Then what you out here with them for? Don't make no sense. Don't make no sense. None. What am I in the trap for? What am I on corners for? Boy, you sound like you eating some large chips or some fruit, boy.
Somebody having their full meal.
You might have to mute your. Yeah, boy, you eating good, boy. So, but we folk.
I thought it was on mute.
So we looking at not sitting in the seat of the scornful or with mockers. Because it said Job drinks up scorn like water. Let me pull that Hebrew word for that real quick, man. I'm gonna let y'all slide up out of it. Let y'all slide up out of it, man. Niggas might not like what I said this evening on some of those things. I truly don't care. It's the truth. I stand on it like E.F. Hutton. Like he used to say, I stand on that. The word drink up is shatah. And it is to literally drink the cup of Elohim's wrath. He said he drink up scorn and like water. He drinks the cup of Elohim's wrath like water. And we know the Ma'im refers to violence in a certain instance when it's broke down. So we know that mocking, derision, and stammering is lahab. It's a man like Job. What man is like Job, who drink up scorning like water? And we know Job means to be hated. So what man is hated that he drinks the cup of Elohim's wrath? And it also, this word for man here is gavar, and it's a strong man or a warrior, the strength or the ability to fight, a valiant man. What strong, valiant man is like the hated who drink the cup of Elohim's wrath and mocking and derision like violence? It's what's being told. And that's pretty much what we've been looking at all evening. All evening. What man is like that? That he drinks that. Now we know from Matthew 26, the master sat down and said, take this cup. This is my blood. This is the violence. Drink this. This is the cup of the new covenant. We know Isaiah 51 and Psalm 75. All these places, all this stuff we done looked at. We know this stuff is dealing with the cup of Elohim's wrath. He took it and he drunk that. This strong warrior, this valiant man, which goes right back to what we were looking at when David told Solomon, be strong and show yourself a man. Be strong and valiant and take mocking and derision. This is why the master said, are you able to drink from the cup that I drink from and be immersed with the immersion that I'm immersed with in Matthew 20? Are you able to drink the cup of mocking and derision and take it like water? Are you able to do it? 2 Peter 3. A lot of people say they able. Some people some people have contrived or created persecution. Like how them dudes go on the street and say, Esau, Esau, and the police lock them up. They persecuting us. You created that persecution. That wasn't persecution. That was stupidity. You know what I'm saying? It's very few people out here who are actually being persecuted because they're standing for and living and speaking what is right. I haven't persecuted anybody in the world. Persecuted anybody in the world for what? If you saying and doing what's right, I salute you. I wouldn't say anything negative about you. He wouldn't have no reason to. I didn't have any reason to say anything negative about Tony Smith. He did I seen some things at times that I didn't particularly agree or care for, but I wasn't gonna say nothing negative about the nigga. I caught the nigga saying little slick stuff. I still ain't say nothing negative about the nigga. But when the nigga went to harming people that I loved and cared about, that's where you gotta draw the line. You know what I'm saying? But in the midst of all that, there, I couldn't necessarily say nothing because I was restrained from saying things. Not restrained by man, but restrained from on high. Like, you got to let that slide, and I'm going to handle that and prove that out. And you're going to get vindicated. Now, we're in another situation. I ain't spoke no evil, little nigga. All I did was tell the truth. You know what I'm saying? I stand on everything that I say. I'm not going to say something if I can't stand on it. I'm definitely not going to lie on anyone. I don't get any benefit or profit from lying on anyone. You know what I'm saying? Never have, never will. It's the purpose of lying on you for. All you got see, and I shared that photograph only because I was raised that way, and niggas around my way used to say that. When you tell the truth, you don't have to remember nothing. See, when you lie, you have to remember everything that you said because you got to cover the lie that you told, and the lie that you told, and the lie that you told, and the lie that you told. When you tell the truth, you ain't got to remember nothing. You know what I said. You heard what I said. That's what the master said. You want to know what I teach? Go ask the people. They heard what I said. They know what I said. I ain't got to remember nothing. That's how I was raised. It's better just to tell the truth. You tell the truth, you can sleep comfortably. Your conscience is comfortable. You ain't got to remember nothing. But speaking the truth does not make you well liked. Being honest and being authentic. Being authentic meaning that you're yourself. That you are who you are. You don't try to be who other people want you to be. You don't try to be someone else. That you're just you. If people are not going to love you and accept you for you, then you don't really need them around you. You don't want people who won't love you for you or accept you for you. Those aren't friends. That's why I say that's what happens when we get with people and try to make a reclamation. We try to make them be who we want them to be instead of just getting with somebody who is already what you need them to be. Versus trying to make somebody be what you want them to be. Because once you show, it's like this here, right? I can see flaw stuff. And I see it. But I ain't one of the people, I see something flaw, I'm going to cut you off. I see something flaw, I'm going to wait for you to bust a move. So when you bust that move, then you know why I don't fool with you no more. You know why. Because I don't know why people take it as, if I don't fool with you no more, that I don't love you, or that I hate you, or I want to do something to you, or I have negative things to say about you. No. You know what you did. I just don't fool with you in that capacity. If you see me in the street, it's all gravy. But we know that we can never go back to what it was before you did that. It can never be the same. We would be lying, and we would be fake and contrived for trying to make something be like what it was when we know that we're no longer in that space. And it's all right. That's life. It happens. It's no hard feelings. It's no hard feelings. I think so many people walk around because they harbor hard feelings or they used to people harboring hard feelings that they just assume that everyone does it. I've never been that type of person. Nigga cross me, gotta lose them. Don't want to lose them, but hey, gotta lose them. You know what I'm saying? It's going to hurt for a while, but you get over it. And then they just fade into becoming a memory. And someone whom you were very, very close to becomes a stranger. As Nas put it, love changes, a thug changes, and best friends become strangers. That is life. That's life. I've lived a long enough time to know that. Most of y'all are young, so y'all ain't lived long enough to know that. That best friends change and love change and people become strangers. People who you thought that would always be in your life end up becoming strangers in memories. And they just become somebody you used to know. And that's just life. You're going to have to deal with it. Do you know what I'm saying? You're just going to have to suck it up. That's why people don't like to cut people off when they get in the word, knowing that when we say cut them off, doesn't mean you don't necessarily have to cut them off completely, but you have to cut off your intimate dealings with them, your contact, your communication, your time spent with them can't be what it was before. And that's hard for people. If you do this word right, you won't have to cut nobody off because they will cut themselves off from you. If you do it right. Meaning, if you're staunch in what you believe and what you stand for and the application of it, they will leave you alone on their own. You won't have to cut them off. They'll start to call you less and less. They'll start to want to see you less and less because they know that everything that they're on will condemn their hearts when they're around you because you're diametrically opposed to what they do. To the point they're not going to call you and ask you to do. You got to be careful when sinners call you to ask you to do anything. Why does this transgressor feel that comfortable enough to call you to ask you to do anything? Why do they feel that comfortable in your presence? Because they shouldn't feel that comfortable. Not to the point where you just condemning and pointing this out and pointing that out. But your way that you live and they know that you are literally 1,000% on that. No compromise and bending or folding for no one. They won't feel that comfortable enough to ask you to do anything. You don't have to be walking around. Oh, we don't do that. I don't do that. No, I ain't talking about that done. That's contrived. That's sucker stuff. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't want to be around you neither if you were doing it. But how you live would make... No, I can't call bro with that one. Bro ain't on that. Bro ain't gonna go to that. No, I ain't gonna do that. Now your family's your family. Your family gonna call you majority of the time. You know, your family's your family. You can't pick your family. You can pick your friends though. You pick your friends though. You don't pick your family. You just got to deal with them. 2 Peter 3:1. The second epistle, beloved, I now write unto you, and both which way I stir up your pure minds by way of remembrance, that you be mindful of the words which were spoken by the Kadesh prophets and of the commandments of our apostles, of the Master and Savior, knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers, walking after their own lusts. When you sit back and say Job drinks up derision or mocking like water, because he had mockers around him. And the one thing you deal with scoffers and mockers is they always go after their own lusts. That's why we read that Galatians 5 and the works of the flesh, because it's always their desires, and that's why they mock you and they ridicule you, because you don't go after your own lusts. Because of the man who taught you, who was made like unto Yahuwah, who humbled himself to be in Shamahim and under the arrest, under the earth. I think we'll deal with that part in Job a little longer, because I went to almost 11:40. Praise y'all for the word. Y'all willing, we pick the rest of this up. Y'all understand?